Peekaboo. Wake up in the morning like a Rito. Hey, how's it going? Rito tribe. This is a special, it's a unique kind of an episode because I actually came for a weekend break. I just came at the hotel and just staying with the wife. I decided to take a break for the weekend, just too much stuff going on, and just was like to regain focus and regain some, perspective in life. I decided to just do a change of scenery. And while I was having these affirmations and what do you call them, your change of scenery was happening, so I started having some thoughts and I decided to have like a conversation with you guys. So this video is that conversation that I want to have with you, and it's going to be about the decisions that you make in your life. All right, now when I started the Bizathon 3 challenge because I had heard about how good Shopify was. Now I had no idea how drop shipping and all of these things work, but I still like took the plunge. I was like, let's do this. All right. So that's the idea behind Bizathon 3. I only had myself and some videos I had seen in other places. I had taken a couple of courses, I learned some things, but I had absolutely no idea what would happen, how things would work out. But I decided to take the plunge nonetheless. And you guys already know what has happened. It's been 2 months. We've done, we actually about to cross 20 grand in sales, and it's going pretty good. But you hear about these numbers and you hear about these stats. You've probably watched plenty of other videos as well about drop shipping, about business, about a lot of other things. But what about you? I want to talk about you in this video. I want to talk about how you can, you can make a difference in your life starting today. And it's all about the decisions that you take in your life, all right? So, let me try and make this more clear for you. All right, so the first thing that you have to do is realize that business is about, it's like starting your first business is a lot about like when you start to swim for the first time. Let's say you've never had a swim ever, all right, and you want to learn how to swim. So it's a lot like that. When you have never like entered water and you have no idea how to float, how to dive, how to breathe inside when you're in water, the panic that strikes in. So starting your first business is a lot about those things. It's about the fear, the anxiety, the not knowing of what's going to happen once you do something. So you try to learn new things and you try to experiment with different things, but you have no idea what's going to happen. So in many cases you don't even start, and that is the first decision. All right, so I told you it's going to be about decisions. The first decision you take is not taking action, and now the inability to take action is also a decision. All right, so it's a choice that you took. So that is why it's important to learn. So, all right. So I want to tell you about a guy I met, and he was, I didn't meet him, but he was a guy who started talking to me on my YouTube channel. So I decided to, talk to him. He asked a lot of questions, so he posted a lot of comments. So I was like, all right, I'll respond to him, I'll help him out. He's got a lot of questions. He seems intrigued by the drop shipping business model, so let me try to help him out. I answered all his questions, and what happened? He's still asking me questions and he hasn't even opened up a store yet. I literally asked him like a week ago. It's been, I believe, 6 weeks since I've answered like about 20 of his questions. He's watched all of my videos, and what has happened is he's still not opened up his store. Now you tell me, what is that all about? It's all about the inability to take a decision and to commit to it. All right. So if you've been watching my videos, you've probably seen we have done what? We have done over almost 50 videos already on this topic, maybe a bit lesser, but about 40 videos on this topic about starting dropshipping. You've seen me do it. I've done it live on camera, you know, facing all the competition and whatnot, but you've seen me do it. You know this works. You've probably read a lot of other comments of people who are following my Bizathons who have actually opened up their stores and started making sales already, so you've probably seen that. But what about you? Why haven't you taken that decision yet? And that is exactly what I need you to think about today. All right, so as I told you guys, so it's all, I'm actually in front of this, so let me just show you guys. I'm actually in front of the pool here, so that swimming reference makes a lot of sense right here. So I saw this this little kid who was really afraid. He asked all these questions to his mom: what happens if I go inside? Or will I be able to float? Will I, you know, will I just sink? So he asked his questions, and then his father literally just pushed him in the water. He struggled for a bit, and then he started swimming. So that is what I'm talking about. You have to find your rhythm, all right? And you have to find your groove. Unless you make the first step, all right, unless you take that first step on your own, you have no idea what's going to happen. Hey, it might be a huge failure for you, I have no idea. But unless you take that first step, how will you even know, right? So if you want to find your rhythm, if you want to find your groove and figure out what works for you and what doesn't, why don't you just start? Why don't you just, the entire strategy is laid out in front of you. In fact, right below this video, you should find a link to my 6-step webinar as well. It's completely free. And you can watch that 6-step webinar. You can see the 6 steps that it takes to launch and scale a Shopify store. Just do that. Just follow it. Just tell yourself, all right, I am taking out time from my day, from today onwards, and I'm just doing it. How difficult is that? And like, instead of watching TV, or instead of watching, like, you know, Netflix, or instead of just going out for a couple of drinks, just take out 1 hour a day of your time, 1 to 2 hours a day of your time, all right? And just do it. Just try it out for a few days. You never know, maybe you start making sales, maybe you start seeing that progress, you find your rhythm, you start floating, you start diving, you start doing the things that you should be doing, but you've somehow just, you know, kept on the sidelines because of all the fear, of all the anxiety of not knowing what's going to happen, right? So that is one big thing, one big decision-making moment that's going to have, I believe, a lasting impact on the way you deal with things, on the way you, you know, treat your business, on the way you treat your life, basically. So don't be afraid. I know there are going to be ups and downs. I know you're going to struggle quite a bit, but instead of asking all the questions up front, let your actions and let the questions come to you. All right, so when you're doing the stuff, let those questions come to you, and then try to find a solution for them, rather than asking like all these questions about, all right, how do I do this, how do I do that, how do I do this, and you have never even like opened up your store. You haven't even started a free trial for Shopify, leave alone open a store, and you have like 500 questions on how things work. Well, you'll know that in time. Let those actions determine your questions, and then try to find the answers when you're stuck at some point, and then solve them, and then move on to the next problem that comes up. It's not going to be easy, but what thing in life is easy? I mean, anything that's worth having is never easy. Isn't that true? So remember that. It's kind of a thing I want to talk about, and I wanted to like get it out of my chest today. And I hope that this makes sense to you. I hope that you forget everything else, you forget all your questions, you drown out that inner noise inside you that's telling you, dude, what if this doesn't happen, what if this doesn't work, what if I, like, seriously, just forget all of that and just take a decision to start taking action today. Today, seriously, if you have been waiting so far, just today is when you start. All right, today is when you start. Get that in your mind, and then just keep at it. 1 hour a day, that's all you need. And I've found my rhythm over time. I initially did I not struggle with ads, with like finding products, with all these things. I had some strategies in mind, but I did struggle. but I overcame each step of the process as it came to me. I found out the solution as it happened. As the problem came, I found out a solution. And that's exactly what I'm asking you to do right now. All right? So just click the link below. You should be able to watch my webinar where I discuss the 6 steps that you need to take, and you can literally just watch. It's a 1 hour long webinar, really simple. Just watch it and start off with step number 1, because that's the first thing. All right, building is the first thing, then you can move on to the next step. Don't get overwhelmed by the 500 things you need to do. Don't get overwhelmed by taxes and payment processing and product selection and ads and profit margins and AliExpress and PayPal. Don't get overwhelmed with things with issues that you don't even have right now. All right, let them come to you and then figure out a solution, because I know you will. All right, if you become an action taker and a hustler rather than a thinker, and rather than somebody who just whiles away time and wants to do something but just hasn't had that the drive yet. If you have that drive today, just make it happen. Click the link below, get started, watch the 6-step webinar. It will tell you everything you need to do, and I'll see you in that webinar. Thank you.